When Bobby Jamison first told me he was moving his family out into the remote Oklahoma woods, I tried talking him out of it. We'd grown up together in the small town of Eufaula, and I knew how superstitious he could be. Bobby said he had found the perfect plot of isolated land where he planned to build a log cabin for his wife Sherilyn and 6-year-old daughter Madison. But there were local legends warning people off from settling in those dense, swampy woods shrouded in mist and mystery. Rumors of witches' curses, restless Native American spirits, even sightings of ominous horned beasts lurking among the trees after dark. Those backwoods were regarded as dangerous, unholy ground. Of course, tales of ghosts and demons didn't dissuade Bobby in the least. He'd always had an affinity for the supernatural and macabre. I think it's part of what first endeared him to Sherilyn, who practiced witchcraft. But even her tarot cards apparently foretold troubling energy in those shadowy woods. Still, construction began on the cabin, and within a month the Jamisons were ready to start their new life deep in the wilderness. The last time I saw Bobby before their move, over beers he talked excitedly about documenting any strange occurrences out there. His eyes lit up telling me, "I'm gonna prove ghosts are real, just wait." I chuckled and wished him luck. But I also urged him to be cautious messing with forces we don't understand. Some doors are better left unopened. Weeks went by without any word from my old friend. None of us back in town heard from the Jamisons after they settled into their remote homestead. Unfortunately, that wasn't entirely unexpected. The family kept to themselves and living miles from civilization without phone service. It was likely they just hadn't made the long trek back to check in yet. I figured they must be wrapped up enjoying their cozy new woodland refuge. But days turned to weeks, turned to months without any trace of the Jamisons. Now they weren't just isolated, something was clearly wrong. Had some accident taken their lives out there in the untamed wilderness? Authorities couldn't locate the remote cabin. But finally, a determined search party on ATVs managed to penetrate deep enough into the dense woods to uncover the Jamison homestead. Cresting a rocky ridge, they reported seeing the unfinished log structure in the gully below. What they found down there sent a shockwave through our community. The cabin was abandoned, everything left exactly as if they'd stepped out for a moment and vanished. All the Jamisons' belongings and vehicles remained undisturbed. But there was no sign of Bobby, Sherilyn, or little Madison anywhere. It was as if the family had utterly disappeared into the ominous forest surrounding their secluded home. The search went on for weeks but found nothing. No trace of violence or foul play. No blood or footprints. It seemed the Jamisons had walked out of their cabin one day to explore the woods together and simply faded off the face of the earth. Our town was consumed with theorizing on what bizarre fate could have befallen them out there. Some speculated the ominous legends Bobby had been so fixated on might hold answers. Whispers spread of occult rituals deep in the untamed woods. Maybe the Jamisons had crossed paths with a deranged serial killer or violent drug cartel operating in the lawless wilderness. Perhaps some predatory entity lurked within that isolated forest, luring them to their doom. With each passing day, hope dimmed of ever finding the Jamisons alive. But the case took an eerier turn when their last known photographs surfaced, taken on Bobby's malfunctioning cell phone weeks before the disappearance. The disturbing images show Bobby, Sherilyn, and Madison walking through autumnal woods, ghostly fogs swirling behind them. In one photo, a wide-eyed Madison seems to be watching something unseen in the trees. The final photo is the most chilling. The family stands motionless and expressionless, staring straight ahead in the direction of the rudimentary cabin. Billowing mist obscures most of the structure, except for a single gaping black window. Something about their stillness and that open void gazing back gave me chills. It was as if the Jamisons were enthralled by an approaching force only they could sense. The troubling pictures only deepened the mystery of what drew the Jamisons out into those mist-shrouded woods that day, never to return. Hunters reported no signs of human remains found. It was like the remote forest had simply swallowed them whole. The Jamison family's bizarre vanishing gripped the nation's imagination. But even as online sleuths picked apart every aspect of the case down to dust motes in photos, the truth of their fate remained locked away somewhere in the strange energy of those woods. For years, various theories have come and gone: murder, monsters, stepping through a portal to another dimension. But nothing substantial ever surfaced. No satisfying explanation for what compelled the Jamisons to walk out their front door to a horrible unseen end. For Bobby, Sherilyn, and Madison, those haunted woods became a graveyard. But I know my friend too well to think some random misfortune befell them. This was a darkness of their own invitation that ended their lives. Bobby longed to validate the malevolent legends that place fed on. In trying to rouse the shadowy spirits lying there, he sealed his family's doom. Along the way, something latched onto them that they could not understand or control. The quest into the supernatural led them to an evil woven into that land, as old as the gnarled roots that snake beneath the dark soil. I don't know what fully took place in their final hours, but I know those ancient woods will never give up their dead. At night, lying awake, I imagine their lonely cabin. The Jamisons gathered together, frozen like mannequins, staring helpless into the mist as it curls closer, surrounding them. Eyes and mouths gaping wider. And something steps forth from the blank void of the cabin's open window. An invisible entity lured by reckless human beckoning. Gliding toward them on swirling eddies. Reaching out with ephemeral arms to claim 3 more lost souls. We all have an innate fear of the imperceptible forces that flow through certain places, the old houses, forgotten graveyards, and remote forests that grip lonely travelers in unnatural stillness before drawing them into oblivion. Perhaps some truths are only learned when it is too late. Never taunt the darkness that skirts the edges of our world. It may just answer back one day. This is the grim lesson woven into the gothic tapestry of the Jamisons' tale, snipped short by whatever entity dwells in those haunted woods that shall not release them. My friend Bobby foolishly let dangerous obsession lead him and his family astray, to a profound evil that will not return its captives. And a pale mist will forever shroud the circumstances of their disappearance. But I know in my gut the Jamisons are still out there, somewhere. Trapped in an everlasting autumn fog, haunting those looming woods. Or what's left of them.